We're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this session of Renewable Hotline. And with us today, we have Vaibhav Joshi, who is the head of international business of Sterling and Wilson. Welcome, Vaibhav. How are you?
Hi, Belen. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Welcome. So, actually, Vaibhav and I, we've met once in the past, but we are meeting in a couple of weeks in Spain, in Madrid, for renewable, for Rema de Almacenamiento, where we are meeting Sterling and Wilson, who is lately working on a big strategy to actually work more in the European market. But he's going to tell us a lot more about that a little bit later. But before he comes, I thought that many of you would have want to get to know him and also Sterling and Wilson a little bit better, so that you can perhaps organize meetings when you're here, Vaibhav. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, so that people can get to know you a little bit better and your experience, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks, Belen. Hi, everyone. My name is Vaibhav Joshi, and I'm heading the international business development for Sterling and Wilson Renewable Energy Limited, one of the largest global solar EPCs. I have been in the renewable energy sector for last 11 years and passionate to be a part of industry which is leading the energy transition and carbon reduction across the globe. And I have worked across the value chain of solar energy, including product sales, engineering, procurement, and construction, and project development.
Thank you very much for that, Vaibhav. Now everyone knows what you do. So tell us about Sterling and Wilson and your experience and the renewable energy sector, please.
So, Sterling and Wilson has been active in the renewable energy sector for almost 11 years now. We started our journey from India in 2011, and after becoming the number one EPC in India in 2016, we ventured out into international market. We started by signing off two projects in South Africa and Philippines, and then came the Abu Dhabi project, which established us in the global arena. From then till recent times, I would say pre-COVID, Sterling and Wilson has expanded its horizons globally with projects in 18 countries and offices in 25 countries and in all the continents of the world. We have consistently remained one of the top 10 solar EPCs for last few years. We reached number one ranking in 2018 as per IHS market report. And in 2021, we became the largest solar EPC in Australia. Today, I would say Sterling Wilson has an impressive EPC portfolio of over 250 projects, totaling 11.2 gigawatt peak of capacity, and an O&M portfolio of 7.2 gigawatt peak. And we are offering solutions across utility scale, hybrid and energy storage, floating solar, waste to energy, and operation and maintenance. From my side personally, I have been in the renewable energy sector for last 11 years, and I have worked with module manufacturers, EPCs, and IPPs in India before joining Sterling and Wilson in 2016. I have been a part of this fantastic journey since 2016 when the company decided to venture into international arena. I started my journey with Southeast Asia, Latin America, and then moved to Australia in 2018. And since September 2021, I'm working in the current profile of Head International Business Development for solar and energy storage based out of Dubai.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav. It's quite a lot. I mean, did you say 250 projects, 11 gigawatts? It's a lot,
Yes.
and ranked top 10 in the EPCs in the world. It's a lot to achieve in little time. So congratulations to you and of course to your colleagues. But
Thanks.
it has been quite a rough couple of years now in general, not specifically for you guys, for the sector. First with the pandemic, EPC businesses went through hardship, let's say, and difficult situations, and now we have the current logistic costs. They're really, really high, and we don't know when it's going to end. So I just wanted to ask, how has Sterling and Wilson been faring through these difficult times?
Yeah, so for last 2.5 years, post-COVID, it has been hard for the industry, and Sterling and Wilson has also felt the heat of it. We saw module price increasing by almost 15% due to a steep surge in the commodity prices. And what typically happened with COVID-19 restriction was that they continued at different time in different countries. So which led to a disruption of the supply chain, and also it led to a very lower demand for last couple of years due to lockdown, restricted mobility, etc. And in terms of execution, it led to labor shortages, price hikes, and it affected us a lot in terms of project execution, delays, cost overruns. And another thing which happened during these last 2 years is that in the utility segment, if you see, multiple projects and auctions got cancelled or delayed. So, with all this happening, honestly, we have been watchful and diligent, I would say, more than ever. It has been a low business period for us, but we are hopeful to regain our momentum as we see now the COVID restrictions and COVID as a concept going out of the world. So we are hopeful we'll regain our momentum and bounce back, this year and onwards.
At least, I mean, it's not just you. Generally, I think the whole industry is kind of gone through this, and hopefully, we're going to be coming out. I wanted to ask you. We started saying that you guys are focusing in Europe. Um, you've been already present in Europe for a number of years, but now it kind of gains momentum as you're
Mhm.
focusing more and more in this market. So, what are you doing in Europe, and what lessons learned are you bringing with you from your experience elsewhere?
So we started our operations in Europe almost 2 years back, and I would say this is the last market we entered. Uh, Before that, we had ventured out everywhere across the globe. So we started 2 years back out of our office based in Seville, Spain. Uh, we have a team of experienced professionals which are from different backgrounds: business development, engineering, project development, execution. We do have a project in Europe for which we are awaiting the green signal to start the execution on ground. And also we are in a preferred position in a few other projects. So I assume that within this year, by end of 2022, we would have projects in hand for execution in Europe market. Uh, in terms of experience, and from other markets, so yeah, every market and every project has shown unique challenges. But if we leave the site specific challenges, the main challenges which we have seen are mostly around grid connection, commissioning, and manpower availability. I think these are the three fundamental problems apart from the site specific challenges. So we have experience from similar challenges faced in Australia, Middle East, Latin America, and US and other markets. So we have developed more and more internal capabilities around this, and we have identified right solutions around this. So whenever it comes to execute a project in Europe, obviously all that knowledge and IP will be utilized in Europe, so that the progress and the path of execution is much smoother than any other market.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav. And how does Sterling and Wilson add value to your customers in Europe? What is your key differentiator with other EPC companies that are present in this market?
See, one of the good thing about Europe market is that most of the developers, IPPs, suppliers, financial institutions from Europe, we have worked with all of them, but in some other market. So overall, as I would say, our solution, the execution approach, and the on-ground performance that we have demonstrated is something which have been accepted and signed off by all these clients and all these stakeholders. It's only about getting onto the first project in Europe and start executing it. But fundamentally, I would say that we are known well by the stakeholders in Europe market. uh, Secondly, I would say the if you see, it's not about only constructing the plant. If you see the measured performances and availability of the plants that we have constructed across the globe, we have been fairly moving over and above the guaranteed, performances and availability. Another aspect, which Sterling and Wilson brings on the table is that we work on the concept of LCOE, levelized cost of electricity. We don't work on the concept of lowest EPC cost, which is fundamental being carried out by other EPC companies. But our concept is always LCOE. And another unique feature which we say is that we are backing our projects by offering long-term O&Ms. So this is a niche, I would say, segment wherein EPCs do not offer a long-term O&M, but we, Sterling Wilson, we back our design, we back our execution, and we are willing to sign long-term O&Ms. So I would say our global experience, bankability, project performance, and the technical prowess that we carry, it places us in a unique position to cater to the Europe market. And I would say these are some of the unique advantages that we are carrying, and we will bring it to Europe market.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav. It's going to be like meeting old friends then, that you've worked already with them, they know you, just in a different setting. So I'm
Exactly.
sure that is going to work really, really well. So let's focus on storage because this is the event that you're attending next week, and also to understand what you guys are doing. What are your plans for the services you will be providing in Europe?
If you see fundamentally last few years, there has been a few changes, in the way storage business was carried out. So earlier, the companies get into the storage projects by offering turnkey solution with supplies and finances, bought on the table. Now what is happening is fundamentally now these guys have established themselves in the market, and now they have moved from a turnkey project supplier and finance service provider to a pure play system integrator and operator. And what we are also seeing a change is that the battery OEMs, which were earlier offering cell, module, and sometime racks, now they are offering a containerized full BESS solution. So what happens is the in this case now that they have moved against their own customer base, so they were providing these battery racks to the turnkey project providers, but now they are offering a full-time solution. So now there is a need of someone who comes and offers a turnkey EPC solution for the containerized or the best solution provided by these OEMs. And that's where Sterling Wilson will come in as a turnkey EPC. So fundamentally, as I would say that there is a lack of someone who can integrate the entire battery solution and can guarantee it and can back it for the entire life cycle. So what we are doing here is we are catering to the entire life cycle of the projects by providing turnkey solutions. We are offering a very right mix of I would say low initial capex and then augmentation later. So in battery solutions there is always a provision of augmenting the battery at a later stage rather than putting everything up front. And then as a system integrator, as an EPC, we are giving the performance guarantees and end of life support. So effectively, I would say similar to solar EPC, we are providing a one-stop solution for the end-to-end requirements of the client, and that is something which is a unique selling point. And we already have an established EPC heritage. We undertake the entire construction of the large scale and complex projects. So I think that is something which we will bring across the storage project, because this is, I would say, this is a particular segment which is missing from the piece of the cake. In terms of EU specifically, so I would say the highest demand for storage right now is across the UK market, and we are seeing now the demand is started to grow in other European markets also. So we are keeping a keen eye on the projects. We are offering our solutions. There are a few cases wherein we are in the preferred EPC position. Uh, so overall, as I said, the heritage of our EPC, and with the combined solution and a turnkey EPC offering for storage is something that we are bringing to the market. And hopefully Europe, after UK, I would say Europe, other parts of Europe will also pick up as a market, and it's going to be a big storage market after US and Australia.
I mean, there is no doubt. I 100% agree with you. As more variable renewable, in the framework, of decarbonization, it's going to be a huge market for storage. There is no two ways about it. I am really intrigued by your idea of the turnkey EPC. I think this hassle-free approach, to storage, in a way that you can just worry on your job, and have someone else worry about the construction and the maintenance and operation, it's a great service that indeed, at the moment we don't really have a lot in the market. So thank you very much. I'll be looking forward to hearing more about that.
Sure.
I have one last question before we go, and it's about the EPC business in general and how do you see it evolving? What are the opportunities for the EPC business in the next few years, considering what is going on in the renewable energy industry right now?
Yep. So one of the changes that has to come in this industry is about the joint risk management. There has to be a correction in the way EPC business is being driven now, and in the way the contracts are modeled. So somewhere the suppliers, the project owners, the financial institutions, they will have to step in, and the project execution and the current price and logistic risk, they have to be managed jointly. because in the current scenario, the way all the risks are being passed on to the EPC, it is leading to bad health or exit of EPCs. So that is a fundamental which needs to correct. In terms of EPC health, so 5 years back we were talking about a 100 megawatt plant to be a big plant, and now we are talking about a 2 gigawatt plant as a normal plant. So, and adding to this, you will see mega green hydrogen projects and ultra projects for power transmission, like the Australia, Singapore, power transmission across countries. With these size of projects and these size of capex, you would need large EPCs which have experience and which have financial health. So, having said that, I foresee that there will be a strong consolidation of the EPC market, and there will be large EPCs which will be driving more of the market. Another change which we are already seeing, which will further grow, is about the development and EPC intertwining of the model. So you will see that EPC will diversify more towards development model, and so that they have more skin in the game, and they can manage their bottom line better. And you will also see more acquisitions happening in the PV EPC space. So IPPs and developers will acquire EPCs to address execution of the huge pipelines which they're talking about. So almost all the big players in the world are talking about 100 gigawatts by 2030, and to execute them, so they need strong, robust EPCs. And as I said, this might lead to more and more acquisitions of EPCs to develop the internal capabilities. Lastly, I would say there will be a huge level of focus from EPCs on improving the bottom line, which will be through more digitalization, more automation, and technology advancement. There will be cost saving solutions, more modularization, and use of advanced construction material. So overall, I would say a more streamlined, well monitored, better collaborated approach and automated approach will come in from EPCs in coming times, and that will be the differential between who becomes the better EPC out of the competition. So I think these are few of the fundamentals that need to be seen over the next few years.
Thank you very much, Vaibhav. I love your vision. There is a lot of opportunities and consolidation. You mentioned that a lot. So a lot of changes in the next few years. But I suppose as industries grow and professionalize, you end up pretty much, in this place. I suppose, like economic wise or financially wise,
So
and
fundamentally, Belen, solar is the most cheapest source of energy. There's no doubt about that. We all know
there
it.
isn't.
The idea is to make it more dispatchable, more available, and available round the clock and available everywhere. So that's the fundamental where this industry will move into, and everyone will work towards it. But I'm sure, solar is going to grow and overall renewable is going to grow. There's no doubts about it.
So how do you make solar work around the clock? Essentially, that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Exactly.
And this focusing on digitalization, you mentioned several things, modularization. Um, is there any specific technologies that you see
So we are,
coming to the fore?
Yeah, so we are talking about more and more automation during the execution stage. The survey, the right surveys, sitting at at your computer, you can see the entire execution, which piles have been installed, which inverters have been installed. You can track all your installations. So in that sense, it will become more digitalized, rather than on working on the papers. In terms of modularization, you will find more and more concepts wherein at the site you might have to only plug and play. You don't have to do lots of civil works at the site. And when I talked about use of materials, which may better your execution in terms of using lesser steel, using lesser of concrete, using less of other materials, and making it more, using more robust material which are light, to handle, to manage, easy to install. So those are the kind of changes we are looking at.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for sharing your time with us and sharing your knowledge. And we will see you in Renmat Almacenamiento in Toledo very, very soon then. Thank you very much. Vaibhav, can you hear me? I
Yes, yes.
unfortunately we lost you a little bit. I don't know if it's an internet connection, but it worked wonderfully all the way to here. So at least we got like a very clean interview. Uh, can maybe there is a little bit of movement now?
But then let's wait for him to come back, and then I will edit this and just have a good goodbye. But I don't want to finish the
No,
live.
that's fine. I was just
Yeah.
wondering what you want me to do because it went so well, and then
Yes.
like
Yes.
we were just in the last stretch, and I
100%.
completely lost him. What a
Yes.
shame.
Let's pretend when he comes back. Let's just do like it over like the goodbye all over again, so I can edit that and just stick it to the whole part. Okay, to
Okay.
the whole video. Thank you. So no one is watching, so we're fine. And I had to edit this either way, so we're fine. It's funny because it happened just when someone came through the door. Maybe they moved something. Like it just happened so quickly.
But it's strange though, isn't it? Because someone walked through the door earlier and it was fine. They
Yes.
just realized and
Yeah.
turned
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. I don't know what
We
happened.
were so close, I was like,
Okay, here we go. I see him. Hi.
welcome back. How are you? Let's hear you
Good, good.
talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, we haven't stopped. Valeria is just going to cut this piece in the middle where we haven't stopped filming because, well, there is a technical thing around it. So I'm just going to say thank you very much and I'll see you in Toledo again. Okay. And then just respond to that. Okay. All right. Three, two, one. Thank you, Vaibhav, so much for sharing all this time and knowledge with us. I think it's been great getting to know you a little bit better, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person in Renma de Almacenamiento in Toledo. And thank you.
Thanks, Belen. It's always a pleasure talking to you and see you in Renmat soon. Take care.
We'll keep talking storage there. Thank you very much. Bye.
Sure. Bye bye.